welcome all of you to this somewhat unusual session on sports. Unusual because this is the first time that One Globe is doing a session on sports. And it's fitting that it's coming after health. I think health and sports are interconnected. I'd like to thank Mr. Harendra Singh and his team in One Globe and Saman Media for their vision in seeing the connections. And that's what, at the end of the day, when interest is waning, we'd like to keep it alive and try to liven it up, make it informal. And we have Harendra Singh, and I'm coming more to that. But first, I'd like to ask you a question. Are you listening? You are. The question is, how many of you are active sportsmen right now? Could you raise your hands? Yes, ma'am. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 5 hands. And how many people are here? 50, 60, 70? Well, that tells a little story, doesn't it? What does it say? And some of the hands that went up were foreign born, at least 2, not Indian born. What does it say? Indians don't do sport. That's the unfortunate reality. Is it cultural? We don't like to do physical work? Is it gender? Is it economics? What is it? That's what we are going to discuss. Basically 3 things: governance and infrastructure, sporting culture, and focused approach to winning medals. And I can tell you, there's no better person than to speak about this than Harendra Singh. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a very warm round of applause to Harendra Singh, winner of the World Cup. In a country where high achievement is not the norm, it's the exception, he is a high achiever. And after 15 years, the Indian men's junior hockey team won the World Cup. It's a huge deal. We were winners in the interwar years, but that's history. The world moved on, and we did not. And there is some kind of revival now. So I will now like to ask Harendra ji, how did you win the World Cup? Let's start with hockey, and then we'll go to sport in general. But first, we'd like to know more about you and your team.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think you have asked very question, how we won the World Cup. And when I took the team in 25th April 2014 with the 48 boys, this national stadium, which is called Dhyan Chand National Stadium, I took them in the statue of Dhyan Chand Sahab. In front of them, I asked them, each and every players, you want to represent the country and you want to win the World Cup. There's 2 different prospects. And I'm happy in the bunch of most of the players, they said, we want to win the World Cup. Then I said, okay, I'll give you the World Cup, how to win it. I'll bring it over there. But that road is very bumpy, very tough. The more you climb the mountain, less oxygen you will have. So think twice before joining me as a coach. And after that I asked, for me, there is no religion. There is no Punjab, Odisha, Jharkhand or Haryana. There is no Singh or Ali or this thing. For me, it's only tricolor. If anybody want to represent the country and win the medal, he has to think twice before coming closer to me, because I play for country and I play for tricolor, nobody else. And I think then I had a one-on-one meeting with each and every players. You will surprise, out of 48 players, 19 players, their father is a driver, wife is a house cleaner. And then I asked them, why you pick the hockey only? They said, we want to represent the country and we want to make the life. I said, well said. You want to make the life? Then give it 100%. More than 100% when you give, you achieve your dream. And I want the dreamer should dream in the daytime, not in the night. And I think from there, the first day, In this small note I started, I interview each and every player, I give the task, and I give one slogan. We are the dream team, we are the Indian team. We are the winner team, and we are the tricolor team, and we play for the tricolor team. Every day morning before we start the session, we used to, this slogan we used to chant, and then we start to slogan. I think that dream we fulfill on the 18th December 16. And that's how I started that journey. And today, still I ask some of the players, do you believe you are the world winner, world champion? And then HIL, outgoing HIL, you have asked me. And everyone saying, sir, what you said in the first day, and still we don't believe we are the world champion. So I think I give the credit. If the sportsman can integrate all these things and play for the tricolor, that's the best example. So we can achieve the things.
Well, thank you. In a country that really is a low achiever, to say the least, a low achiever in sport, in any sport, can this model that you have developed, can this be also created for other sports in India? Because we have a problem, infrastructure, money, funding. You know, I want to just share a figure. In the UK, I read on the BBC website the other night that they spent 4.5 million Great Britain pounds per medal winner in the London Olympics. 4.5 million pounds. That's a staggering amount. In India, we spend annually 4 paisa per sportsman. So there's a huge discrepancy in the budget. They have the lottery funds. But how can we improve sport in India? Can you tell us in a more general sense about sport with your background?
First of all, that we talk about the infrastructure. Unfortunately, the government always try to have the Asian game, Commonwealth game, where the metropolitan city is there. We need to, this infrastructure has to bring either B or C cities. If you ask that today, except I'll talk in the general, in any sports, barring few cricketers, most of the sportsmen come from the poor family or from the rural area. What it shows? It shows that sports lies within the C or B grade cities or the village. So we have to impart the talent through the infrastructure. We have to provide the infrastructure in the grassroots level. We always provide the best facility when that sportsman have achieved everything. That's not a question. He will get everything when he win the medal. But how many we are bringing that sportsman in that level? I don't think so. That's a zero. So for that, providing the basic infrastructure in each and every panchayat, each and every district is a government job. Government, not job, I can put in other ways, their responsibility. What you said, we spend 1 rupee 75 paisa per citizen to get the Olympic medal. I think it's ridiculous. You have to spend billions of dollars or billions of rupees to get one Olympic medal. And for that, you have to go in the places where this sportsman can bring the laurel for the country with the medal, not only representation. The infrastructure is a huge problem with our country. In Delhi, we have all infrastructure, but how many Delhiites use that infrastructure? Zero. Because nobody has allowed to go inside the stadium. If you don't, my children, the community sports, we don't have the community sports. We don't have the school where the sports ground is there. So if parents also want to put their kids to go in the sports, but that school don't have any facility where he or she will go. So I think that first we have to start with the infrastructure with a good quality. The second which you asked me, I think we have a great players. But unfortunately, this country has few in the tips. We have the great coaches. The coaches has to be also upgraded with the help of the science. Sports and science is the something like the husband-wife. They have to come together and bring the sports with the science. With the help of science, you can achieve the medal. And that we need to be infrastructure with the science.
I'd just like to say here that Harendra is an exception in that respect because he has been an Olympian. He played for the Indian national team and he has coached the Indian national team 2006 and 2010 World Cups and Aslan Shah and others. And of course, he's been the very successful head coach, chief coach of the junior team. So he's seen it from both sides. He just said that good coaches are not good players in India and good players are not good coaches. So we need to integrate that. Can you elaborate that a bit?
See, first of all, the Indian coaches, whatever the ex-players, they played and they think that my experience will lead to the same in the sports. But we forget what I played. That's my one of the skill out of 24 elements. My experience in that sports is one element. What about 23 elements? I divide in 24 hours in the 24 elements in the sports, like the psychological part, emotional part, education part, physiology part, your hygienic part, your upbringing part, your mental toughness part. All this is part of elements of the sports. When I may become a sports, I represent the highest in the country. That's experience of the representing the country and that is skill helped me. But at the same time, the other things I have to go. Like one of the doctor, I cannot go and make the bridge. He's specialized in the doctor, in the surgeon or physician. He can't be the engineer. The same, I am specialized in the playing in the career, but I cannot be in the coaching side. For the coaching side, I must go and study, which I, unfortunately, my wife and my parents are very helpful. And I went abroad and studied the sports coaching integrity. I studied in the soccer, basketball, and then I put in the hockey. So any sportsman want to come in the coaching side, he must use the science and his coaching experience. Then whatever experience he having as a sports, he played in hockey, basketball, whatever, cricket, he should be the added value. But in the science with the coaching career, I think he has to be improved a lot how to handle. The basic funda of the any sports coach, I think, the connect with the emotionally that athlete with you. If you connect your athlete with you emotionally and you know how to put it on the paper or this thing, I think you can get out of best from the any sports.
Well, we spoke of artificial intelligence some time back. Now we speak of emotional intelligence in sport. The pride in the flag, for example. You know, Harendra has his, could you show your cell phone, please? Just have a look at his cell phone. You're carrying it, of course. Look at that. That is something inspirational and unique and unusual. Great pride. And that's how you build a nation. When we are dealing with skill development, and the knowledge economy, we have to see the link with sport. If you look at history, the great sporting nations are also the great powers of the world. There is a direct connection between politics and sport, mostly. Of course, there are exceptions in Africa, Latin America, etc. So why can't India do it? We can do it. And what is the government doing? Can you tell us?
See, I have done one study in the 1964 Olympics till 2012 recently. And I have collected the data with the documentation and I find out the country which is the top in the medal tally in the Olympics. And if you analyze their youth, which are the age group winning the medal. And the same time, since this part of the country is especially the subcontinents with the effect from terrorism and Naxalite. And I find out the country which winning the medal, the most part of the medal of the Olympic, like the top 10, and the country which is affected from the terrorism and the Naxalite, the age group is the same, 16 to 32 or 36 years. And these are the age group. Is if that age group, the channelizing of the positive energy through the sports, we become a powerhouse in the everywhere. It means that shows we are the economical power, no doubt. Everybody talking about the looking towards the India, like we have a IPL, we have a HIL, we have a IBL, we have a ISL league. But how many achiever in that sports we are producing from within the country? That is a question which I...
Thank you very much, Harendra. Now let's have a few questions on how we can improve sport in India.
Let's have some couple of quick and short questions. May I have the mic go up to him, please, and ensure the mic is on when it reaches him? Yes, sir. A quick introduction of who you are and the question. Please make it really short.
Yeah, my name is Dr. Sarojit Dudeja. I'm from Haryana. As you pointed out, in Haryana there is a Rai school and HA University. There is sports college. Why not to have all this school from the primary level and up to university level for each and every event like kabaddi, wrestling, hockey. Each school or each college should be for specialization. There can be of great help, and our funding is very small. We have so many sports channels, we have so many sports magazines, and why they are not supporting this type of events and training?
Sir, you have asked a very valid question. We are the Indian, we always follow. Every Indian household, if you go, they are following the EPL, English Premier League, Barcelona, we talk. But how many, as a parents, we actually take our kids and go on the ground and play sort of any sports? In that Haryana also, Haryana government is one of the, I think, the primary in producing the players, especially in the boxing, wrestling, and the other sports. But that, I think that the culture within the family we have to develop. Take the sports, any sports, and nearby, and we start playing in that, or at the same time organize the events for the each and every age group, right from the 6 to 65. That's a sports culture we can develop. We always organize either inter-school, inter-college. But where is for the any child in the under 6, under 7 in the community or the locality? That kind of that culture is the parents and the within the society we should develop, where we become the sporting culture and sporting nation. We always try to put the bucks on the either school, college or states. But within the society, I think we are not doing enough for the sports, and that's where I think that somewhere the government has to come and start doing from the within the society and the locality, the community, and then this thing we can more organize way for the competition wise, not the participation with the competition wise.